And welcome to the Common Sense Experience, featured only on the Black Podcasters Network. This is episode number 59 of the Common Sense Experience podcast. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe on iTunes and iHeartRadio. And you can check us out on Facebook at Black Podcasters Network. I am one of three. I'm your host, Chuck, here with my brothers, PG-13 and Amir. What's up, fellas?
Mic check 1, 2. What is this? What's good, folks?
What's up with y'all, man? Hey, man, just be careful out there, man. Stay off your cell phones in your own backyard.
Right.
Yeah. Like I saw that story flash, but on my social media, but I didn't really dig into it. But I just saw cops shoot black kid in his own backyard. I'm like, okay, well, damn.
Oh, the footage is out now. That wasn't part of the agenda.
Yeah.
Speaking of grinding the gears.
Yeah. He said, "Let me at him." He let me at these motherfuckers. Man.
No,
but yeah.
Go ahead. Check my bad.
No. I was just gonna say, so happy Friday, everybody. March 30th. When you're listening to this, but we're recording it a week in advance. So, but yeah, man, Pete, I guess whatever, what we got to do next, grind the gears, or Amir, if you got some shit you need to pop off with, whatever, man, let's get this shit rolling.
I mean, as always, like you said, man, grinding your gears, Pete, Chuck, you know what I'm saying, though, what's pissing off the professor, you know what I'm saying, though, and that, though, man, yeah, man, you know what, let's go ahead, man, and, because this is going to be a really great show. Not to say the other shows aren't great, but this one, man, is going to be a real burn burner right here. So let's go ahead with it. Pete, what the fuck is on your mind, man? What's grinding your gears, brother?
I'm tired of sounding like a fucking broken record. That's what's grinding my gears. I'm tired of this world being a fucking broken record. It's the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, rest in peace to that brother. Prayers to his family. But niggas is tired of saying rest in peace to that brother and that sister. Prayers to their family. Whenever a cop kills an innocent black man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, we see the narrative, man. We not stupid. Even the motherfuckers that's not woke see the bullshit, man. You know, how they describe us in the news. How they describe the white terrorist people in the news. Who are not white terrorists, but they're just a lost soul who needs help. Where his brother was supposedly slashing tires and shit. I don't know how slashing tires and breaking windows results to you getting killed anyway, but still, even if he was doing that shit, he killed a man in his own backyard where his grandmother can see, shot 20 times, and then after, if y'all heard the footage, I don't know if y'all boys heard the footage, you hear the motherfucker saying, "Let us know you're okay, so we can call the ambulance. If you can speak, say something." Y'all shot this motherfucker 20 times. Now y'all concerned about him? It gets to a point where you scared that you're gonna get numb to it. I don't want to get numb to it because I don't never want to be comfortable with this shit. But unfortunately, this is an everyday situation. So it's just like, damn, another one gone. Another one is gone. Another one who didn't even make it to C25 is fucking gone. Hey, man, I got something to say. I know, YG and the game, all these blood niggas is upset about Tekashi and what he represents. Can one of y'all talk motherfucking shoot George Zimmerman, please? I know I might get shut down for saying it. Please, can one of y'all motherfuckers who's so concerned about protecting your streets, protecting your hood, protecting shit y'all don't even fucking own, and we got motherfuckers out here who's still alive after murdering the little brother Trayvon Martin, man. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not a street nigga, so I'm gonna ask these questions. If I was, shit, maybe I would do it. I don't know. But it gets to a point, man, it's like, especially all the killings that's going on in my hometown right now, Buffalo, New York, man. Another two other brothers, young brothers get killed. Niggas wasn't even 18. You got babies getting killed, getting caught in the crossfire. Buffalo is small. That motherfuckers that's killing each other are pretty much probably related. Y'all killing your cousins. You killing your auntie's sons, my nigga. Like over Fruit Belt, over Bailey, over Uptown. For fucking what? They don't care about y'all niggas no way. I don't understand that shit, man. I don't understand that. And meanwhile, you got a motherfucking George Zimmerman running around here frolicking, still fucking breathing. You got bum ass cops out here giving a young brother 20 rounds in the backyard of his grandmother's house, man. His grandmother's crib. You get tired of it, man. It's like, what else can you fucking say? What else can you do? What are we waiting on? I don't know, man. That's my grinding in the gear segment, brothers. Y'all go ahead and speak on it.
Chuck?
Yeah, it's the and it's going to be the same narrative, right? Kid gets shot, black kid gets shot. People start protesting. Police go to trial. They get acquitted, and it's kind of swept under the rug. Like, protesting does not work. Like, these niggas damn near destroyed Baltimore, and those cops got off. Like, when are we going to realize that protesting is not the solution to the problem that we're having? This is a bigger, much larger problem than protesting. And I said it before, when they were protesting here in Baltimore, so you have the city, and then you have the downtown Baltimore area, which is more where a lot of the white people go for when they come in, tourists and whatnot. So they had a police presence downtown at some of the locations, like, for example, the mall downtown Baltimore. But when it came to a mall right in the city, go ahead and tear that shit up. That's y'all shit. No presence whatsoever. Right? So they already know that, hey, this protesting ain't gonna do shit but fuck up your own shit. Right? It's gonna be the same narrative, man. So I don't know, man. We're just three guys, man, trying to get a message out there, man. But I think we have to. I don't know, man. I have no words. I really don't, because it's sad. I don't even want to watch the video, because I teared up for the Philandro Castile joint. I can only imagine seeing them load this kid with bullets, what it'll do. So I'm not even gonna watch the joint, man. To be honest, I don't know, man. It's something has to give, man. Something has to give. And in order for racism to be eliminated from society, it means that this whole system has to be uprooted.
Yeah.
Like, we're not right. If once racism is, let's say once racism is gone. If we look at the other side of racism to where it is now, like, the whole system would have to be changed, because everything is intertwined into this concept of race here in America. And man, I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Counting and depending on the government to help you, and then having them fuck you over is not the government's fault. It's almost like, well, it's not almost, it is. It's like giving your newborn son to the Catholic Church and then getting mad that they got raped.
Yeah.
Duh. That's what the fuck they do. So, it's just, people that, just trust in this government. It's like the system that's fucking you over, you go to that system for help. That mentality is mind-boggling. The system that's fucking you over, you're gonna go to them for help. Go to the bully and ask the bully to not bully you anymore. Wait, go to the bully and ask the bully to help you with the bully. It is the bully. This is what it is. But, this is the condition that we're in, and we hope that somehow it's going to change through voting and through prayer, holding hands. It's incredible. Like we've said before, man, if, again, good cops, bad cops, If you're a black person that's a cop, or if you're a white person that's a cop, and you're a good person, you still are an enemy of mine. Now, does that mean I have to go off and wish death upon you as an individual? Maybe not, or so. I don't know. I mean, if I feel that way, I don't feel as I should be. I'm not going to lose any sleep if I feel that way. But you get what I'm saying? But if you're a cop, you are an enemy of mine. Look at the history. Look at the history. It is what it is. Come on, man. This is every day that we deal with this shit, man. Every day we deal with this shit. And we've done this show for a year and over a year and a half. And we've probably had to the point to where we've had to go ahead and find other topics to talk about because it was becoming repetitive. That's how often this happens. And it's ridiculous. And these are the stories that become national news. We ain't even talking about the ones that don't.
Right.
We still haven't found out about the shit that happened to the young man here in Buffalo on the west side, killed by the cops.
Mm-hmm.
So come the fuck on. I mean, it is, and yet, people will be like, hey, we just have to trust in God. Fuck that. And fuck you for being weak to say that to me. That's weakness. That is not you being strong. Stop using God as a goddamn excuse for you being a fucking pussy. Because he's not. God sets plagues. They put his son on the goddamn cross, and that motherfucker said, fuck everybody.
Mm-hmm.
He's still bringing natural disasters because of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because of the shit that he made us go through, which is why we're dealing with the natural disasters that we're dealing with. For the way he's treated us as the indigenous people of the earth. Oh, yeah. So, I just don't understand how people still trust in the system, and I'm not trying to anymore. I'm not trying to get to that point. Those who will listen, they will listen. Those who don't, all right, cool, fair enough. Go ahead. And, and think that they're going to help you, because they're not. And even if it looks like it, they're not. They're not. They're not.
They can't.
And if you have children, I can't see why you would want another generation to go ahead and fall for that lie. But I think a lot of people, honestly, get selfish and like, you know what? I fell for the shit, so I'm going to make sure you're going to fall for the shit too. Well, I've seen that. I was fooled. You're going to be fooled too. And then you just have to you have to figure it out on your own.
Could it to add to what you're saying, Amir, and you definitely hit on to something. I know we got to move on, but it's just I got to get this off my heart because you mentioned the fact that if you have kids, it's kind of fucked up to have them believe in a false narrative that you were forced to believe in, which is true. And Corey, y'all know I watch the Corey Holcomb 50/50 show, dope brother, comedian. And they be spitting some knowledge. They be having some dope conversations. And this came up like, well, you know how Corey Holcomb talk. He a harsh nigga, but it kind of the same shit you were saying, Amir, about how people who still believe in Jesus or still go to church or believe in a religion is basically doing it off of fear, and not because it's easier to live in fear than it is to live in truth. So, and that kind of makes sense to me because it's just like it's beating in your head so much to go to church, to do this, to do that, to the point where it's just like you're a fucking robot, even though you do see the truth of what's going on. But it's just like you've been doing it so much. I think there's a number of things. It's them being like, you know what, fuck it. It is what it is. Two, it's being fair. And then three is just like, well, what else do you have to go off to believe in? You know what I'm saying? Like, my mother and I, we had these conversations all the time about religion, and she respects where I come from, but she still has to be like, damn, just go to church, take the kids to church one time. But I can't fault her for that. That's how she was brought up. That's what she believes in. She old school. But it's just like me, myself, it's like, nah, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Where I see a 4-year-old girl who's getting beat every day by her parents and ends up dying unnecessarily because the system who's supposed to fucking help us, they are getting called every day by the father, by the daycare lady. But the system didn't do shit because the mother had full custody. And the mother and the boyfriend and the mother's boyfriend was the ones beating the 4-year-old girl to death every day. She ended up dying. And my thing is like, all right, where's God for that one? You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to be like saying, let's go to church because my mom said so. And then I see shit like this happening, and I got some questions. So
well,
I
would say this, and I don't want to overly interject though, but just to add in this. It's the same, like I said, with my mom. Like I said, I learned about Farrakhan through that, and I can tell through her, and I can tell that your mom gave you a platform to question.
Okay.
Even if she went through what she went through. So when she says that, you kind of just let her have her moment. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like somebody, it's almost like listening to, it's like someone just venting. At that point in time, go to church.
No, absolutely. I guess what I'm saying is, no, you're right. And you know, my mom is dope. We have conversations all the time, and we have good conversations. And I'm not saying my mom in particular. I'm just saying, unfortunately, everybody don't have that type of parent. Because they're so Bible shook. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's easy to follow. Somebody put that shit up about Corey Holcomb, and I watched it, and my immediate answer to that was, well, the truth isn't easy to follow. You know what I'm saying? Like, we live a life where we don't know what the fuck going on, us as black folks. We don't know who we belong to. You know, Asians know what they about, Spanish people know what they about, Italians know what they about, Irish people know what they about, but black folks has been misplaced everywhere for so long. We don't know where the fuck we can unite at. So all they think they got is the church. You know what I'm saying? It's like so many layers to uncover and shit that we fucked up, man. I had a point. I was going somewhere, but I don't know. It's just like we fucked up. Our people is fucked up, and people are scared, not either scared or fearful, if they do know the truth, to actually go into that light of truth, because all they know is the church. That's all they feel they get their unity from.
It's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
That too.
It's the fear of the unknown. Go ahead, and Chuck, go ahead, my bad.
No, I mean, you're both making some really good points, especially you when you're talking about, moms and, her encourage you to go into church, but also leaving that space open for you to make your own decision.
Yeah.
Like our parents didn't have that option. Like our grandparents made our parents know you're going to church. It's not even a question.
Right.
No, you're going to church. Shit. During the summertime when I used to stay with my grandparents in Toronto, we used to go to church every single Saturday from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. It was not an option. Grandma, I won't go to church. No, you're coming to church. It's not even an option. Parents these days, they do leave that window open because they realize, or we're just starting to realize, in my opinion, that, hey, there's something else. You can get whatever you're looking for in religion outside of religion, because religion has done nothing but brainwash people. And as Amir said, they made them docile as a lamb, right? Ignorant. Let's just pray, right? There's a story, I don't know if it's true or not, where a kid was sick, and they're like the friends of the family started noticing, and all the relatives started noticing, and they're like, well, why aren't you taking the child to the hospital? Oh, our faith is in God. So they kept praying and praying and praying. Eventually the kid ended up dying. Like, so where's your God now? Right. So I don't know, man. You're right. We are, as a people, we're in a fucked up position, because even if for the handful of us people that are woke or are starting to become woke, we still have to operate within a system that is not designed for us.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like trying to walk into like a McDonald's, but you're coming from a Burger King perspective. You know what I mean? Like McDonald's has their own system working. Burger King got their own system working. So if you got the Burger King mindset going to McDonald's, that shit ain't gonna work. McDonald's got their own fucking system. So yeah, man, I don't know. It's a huge battle, which is why Black people are more prone to spirituality more so than Europeans are, because it's wired into our DNA. Like we've had to overcome some of the greatest tragedies in history, and we're still here. And I think that's probably what pisses them off so much. Like, damn, we doing all this shit to these motherfuckers and they still here. These niggas still fighting back and shit. Of course we are, because we at the core we all know who we are. We just forgot. We've forgotten. Like right. we're connected with the universe. Like we're from the stars and the galaxies and all this shit. Like that's us, right? Our ancestors built the pyramids based off of alignment with the fucking universe. So that's where we come from, and a lot of our unfortunate people have forgotten that truth.
Yeah, man. What shit? Wakanda is just a watered down version of what Africa truly is.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Shit, brother.
People think that it's that's just a over exaggerated version of Africa. No, that's actually a watered down version of Africa.
Yeah.
Everything is powered from Africa.
Shit.
Funny you mentioned about the joint though, Chuck, because I remember that when I was in Toronto, and it was like, we going to church. I'm like, no, I don't really go to church. And they looked at, and your mother, she looked at me and she was like, Miss Arlene's, mostly very liberal, very laid back, doing her thing or whatever. Though she looked at me, and this was, like, nigga, that wasn't really that was not.
That wasn't an invitation. That wasn't an invitation.
We are here. My mother and my father said that we are going to church, nigga.
That's it.
Just shit on. We're going to church. You're not staying at the house.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just call, drop, and shut up.
Yeah, that shit was it. But bro, like the whole fucking day though, bro. Like 8 o'clock and leaving at 8.
Yeah,
who the fuck is
going
to church, bro?
That's
that shit was.
That's a shift.
Bro, we had like 2 sermons, all types of prayer, Bible study, and praise and worship for like 2 hours. I'm like, yo, this is fucking bananas, man. But that's them Pentecostals for you, them Seventh-day Pentecostals, man.
It's crazy.
Thank God we was Methodists, man. It was from 11 to 1. Yeah. I mean, I had to go to choir rehearsal too, but 8 to 8. Nah, dude.
But you know what's crazy, bro? Like, and this goes back to the whole programming piece. Like when I moved down to Baltimore, and I initially didn't find a church that background that I grew up on. I went to a Sunday church, and I think service was at like 10 o'clock. That shit was over at 11:30. And I'm sitting there like, yo, I feel so uncomfortable. It's weird though. Like I just felt like an hour and a half. Like in my mind, I'm making all these judgments and shit and all that. Like, no, what? I used to go to church 12 hours a day. Saying that shit like I'm proud of some shit. Like it makes a fucking difference. Hour and a half to fucking 12 hours. And that determines whether or not God loves you more or less, man. That's crazy. That's that bullshit. That programming bullshit, man. People believe in that shit too. If I say X number of prayers, God's going to answer more often.
12 hours of your fucking day in a building.
Just say
when there's
5
life
more
outside,
it'd be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand every once in a while having we're just gonna go ahead, shut it down, and we're gonna go in here and do that. If that's a part of your religion, cool though. That shouldn't be something that's done every fucking goddamn weekend or day for some. To be in a fucking building for 12 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not saying that's not nowhere near, attacking the religion, but that aspect that's insanity.
It is.
Insanity. Yeah, that was some great points about that, though, man. Rest in peace to that young man, and you know, what I mean, we just, yeah, man, we got a lot of work to do, man. We're definitely at the, we're definitely gonna have to do a lot of work at the construction site to get this building back up. But we're willing to do the work, man. Willing to do the work. All right, Brother Chuck, man. I know it's a lot that's probably on your mind, though, brother. But just what particularly? What right now? What is pissing you the fuck off? What's pissing off the professor, man?
Pete alluded to it a little bit earlier. The Austin bomber and how the way he's being labeled as mentally disturbed or needing help. It's crazy how the media is set up, man. Like it's almost, and the fact that social media is such a big factor in that, because people start sharing these photos and all these videos and shit. So that shit could be, one person can post that shit and then millions of people can see that video or that photo or whatever. Damn, this deja vu like shit. It's crazy. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like it, because we don't have control over the media, there's not really much that we can do about that. As far as them, the image that they're putting out there. I think the only thing that we can do, and that's what we're doing here on the Common Sense Experience, and then once the Black Podcasters Network starts growing, is that we're going to start trying to interrupt that message that the media is putting out. Because they're going to continue to put that shit out regardless. Right? And once we get big enough to the point where we can start interrupting that image that they're putting out, and to be honest, I'm optimistic about it. Although it looks bleak right now, I'm optimistic that what we're doing here on the network, man, is trying to interrupt that message that's being put out. The podcast is starting to reach certain people, even political people and all that stuff. So people are hearing the message and what we're talking about, and they're starting to realize the importance of it to help uplift the black man and the black woman from the ashes, man, and rise back to greatness, to where we were, being the indigenous people of the earth, as Amir said earlier, man. So if just as you're listening into this, just be mindful that whatever image is being portrayed by the media, it's not that we're being programmed in one direction or the other. So just stay vigilant, as we say, #stay woke. But that's it for me, man. That's it. I don't got much. I know we got a lot of shit to get into today. So,
Pete?
Yo, man. Stay
woke. No doubt about it, though, man. Yeah, man, it's strange. You know what I mean? That when it comes to us, as Chuck, you alluded to, the first image that they give is, our mugshots or, other pictures. But then, when it comes to white people and they kill 20 people, they put up, picture to damn near look like fucking Zach Morris.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, though? And then you see the recent picture of this motherfucker, he looks like he belongs in fucking Duck Dynasty. So, it's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy, though. But this is, like you said, man, this is what we got to deal with, and you know what I mean? And we have to understand that we can't depend on, like you said, the system to go ahead. We have to be the change that we're looking for. We can't expect the system to change. It's not designed to work for us.
It's not. Yeah.
And we have to stop selling that lie to ourselves, first of all, and then to the next generation.
Yeah.
Because somehow passing on struggle is the thing to do. No other generation does that. You ever see these little fuckers in a goddamn store the Arab stores and all that. I mean, it's spoiled as shit. Not saying it's good to go ahead and not give them certain morals and things like that, though. But yeah, they're supposed to go ahead and build stuff. That's why you build, so that the next generation doesn't have to go through the same struggles. Hello.
Yeah.
That's all we know to pass on.
There's a documentary on Netflix that me and my girl are watching. It's called Flint Town. Like, I wasn't gonna watch it, but she started watching that shit, and started watching it with her. And that shit. So Flint Town is portraying the life of policing from a officer's perspective. So there was one part where there's a store somewhere in Flint, and it's known for a lot of high crime activity. And of course, it's a predominantly black neighborhood, but Arabs and Indians own the store. So the police and people have been getting shot outside. I think even like a 12-year-old kid got shot outside this store or whatever. And so the police, they end up having to get a court order to temporarily shut down the store because of the crime activity that it was attracting. So they went through the process and whatever, and the store ended up getting reopened. And we already know that's due to money. You know, they say, "Hey, judge, just tell us we can open the store, hit you with $50K, and that's it. Bam, that's how it is." And that's some shit my son said in this video, man. Like, you got money, you good, right? Especially in the court system, you pay the judge off, whatever, pay the DA off, whatever. You know, you're good to go. But I say that because when you talk about business ownership, like how is this Arab store in the middle of a predominantly black area, and how come it's not owned by black people? You know, why the Arabs selling liquor and cigarettes to underage kids coming into the store? Why isn't anything being done about the crime that's happening outside the store? People are getting robbed and people are getting shot directly outside your store. And you're saying that it's not your fault. And they don't even live in the city. They live in somewhere in the suburbs, but they come to the city every day, take money from the black people, and take that shit right back to the fucking suburbs. And it's happening all across America. It's not just in Flint. That shit's happening all across. Fuck, here in Baltimore. I can tell you this one strip called North Avenue. There's a liquor store, there's a convenience store on almost every fucking corner, and none of them shits are owned by black people.
Well, people, how easy it is for Arabs and people from other countries to get properties like that. They be knowing about this shit. That's I don't know if y'all boys watched that Real Estate Cat on Breakfast Club on the interview. They kind of alluded to it, man. It's like it's certain systems and programs put into place where we won't know, where us in the community, like Fruit Belt, for example, the store across the street that's like half burnt down across the street from where my mother and father live. And it's an eyesore and shit like that. It's sold already, apparently. My mom was pissed. Like, why is this stuff sold? Because it's easy for folks, for like a construction company or Arabs or anybody of non-American descent. It's easy for them to find out about these programs where they're selling these buildings for like 50 cents on the dollar or a buck, and they buy this property and turn it to whatever it is they want to fucking turn it to. It's because the system that's supposed to be for us, right, Americans, is allowing these motherfuckers to do that shit, but won't tell us nothing. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, and you know how we do on this show, the Common Sense Experience, we always come back around full circle. It goes back to what Amir said. The system is not for us. You know what I mean? It's not. We gotta fucking actually open the book and go on these internets and not use it just for sports and porn and shit, and actually figure out what the fuck going on, because they're not gonna give it to us. They're not gonna come to the town meetings, and the community meetings that us black folks be having. And hey, man, just go to this website here, and you can apply for these programs to get these buildings yourself. They ain't gonna fucking tell us that, man. We on our own.
Yeah. It's just we have to get to the point to understand it, man. It's just us, man. We we have to get off of that whole depending on the system, system bullshit and passing that down, man. That generational lie.
Yeah.
That generational lie, man. Anything else, man, before we get into these topics, brother?
I did have one thing, but we can probably save it for because that can probably be a whole nother show. So I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. Something came up on my timeline the other day, and like that shit was kind of it was sobering as fuck, but it was also true. So I kind of had to digest that shit a little bit.
Okay, all right, man. Listen, all right, yeah. Keep that energy though. Definitely keep that energy, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into this first topic, man. All right. Look, you know what I mean, as we get older, man, you know what I'm saying, though, you start to realize, you know what I'm saying, though, in your youth, you know what I'm saying, that you are, you know, ignorant to and things that, you know, took for granted, you know what I'm saying, though, as you were younger, or, you know what I'm saying, though, in a younger mindset. So I'm just going to ask y'all brothers, though, and I'm sorry with Chuck, and I'm going to, you know, go ahead and Pete answer after that. I'm just going to ask, name something that y'all appreciate now that you didn't necessarily appreciate when you were younger.
Where should I start?
Right.
Fair enough.
I'd say of everything that I know now, I would say the importance of economic development, like focusing heavily on economics. Like back in 2005, Amir, that's when I got the job at HSBC Bank. You know what I'm saying? I was making decent money. I was back at home with mom, so I wasn't paying. I was helping her with bills and shit, but I wasn't paying like a rent or none of that shit. So I was stacking money, getting my debt paid off and shit, right? Mm-hmm. But with the way things were going, if I would have stayed on that pace, I probably would have been in a completely different financial picture right now than where I am right now. But knowing what I know now, if I had this knowledge back then, man, I'm talking about like that. And we're going even to like investing in the cryptocurrency shit. Like if I would have known that shit was going to do what it did, the Bitcoin particularly, I would have shit. I had money. I would have still like $500 at the cryptocurrency shit. Right. I would have started reading more about investments. Right. I wouldn't have took out 6 figures of student loan debt to go to fucking college. No fucking way I wouldn't have done that shit. Not a chance. You know, so it's kind of one of them things, man. It's insightful, but it's also sobering at the same time. It's like, damn, man. It's like, and when you see your younger generation going through some of the same motions and shit, like you try to put the shit out there. Especially with my, with my stepdaughters. Like I'm trying to teach them, you don't need college loans. There's scholarships out there. Right? Here's a financial book. Read this shit. Make sure you learn about finances. Are you saving money? All that shit, man. So honestly, if anything that I know now, I would say the economic piece for me is probably the biggest thing.
And then not to go interject too much though, Pete, though, but it's just would you say though, Chuck, that you were saving up to get back, doing your own thing just to accrue more debt? It's like that's what people do. It's like I'm trying to get on my feet so I can get more debt.
Yeah,
It's not the mindset, but it's kind of like what it is.
No, but now remember, for me, that was like right after I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like that was so I read that shit. Like that shit completely shifted my paradigm. So I wasn't like I was paying off debt, but I didn't have in my mind, I'm gonna go further into debt. Like I was at that particular time with the information that I had, I thought the way to building wealth was working, and I was working 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week. I thought the way key to wealth was just saving a bunch of money. And that's what I was doing. Like I wasn't investing it. I wasn't out here, and me, I wasn't like buying a bunch of shit. I was very modest, a modest guy. And like I was just saving money. I'm like, oh, cool shit. That's the way to wealth. But that was a very
not debt in that way. Like not debt in like spending like buying an expensive car or getting a expensive house, but I mean, like, as far as, like, even just with, you know, as we talked about with, like, just with school.
Yeah, that shit.
I mean, it's crazy how, you know, I mean, how we're still programmed in some way, shape, form, or form to get into debt, though. But I mean, yeah, definitely, man. Economic growth is something. Yeah. Ujama.
Well, for me, the move to Baltimore was more so out of desperation to try and create change. You know,
like me, Chuck.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. Like it, and you know, a lot of shit was going on with my family and my mother and all the other shit, man. And like I had to leave Buffalo, and because of the desperation, I think sometimes what happens is that we're not seeing the whole picture. And I didn't have that when I left Buffalo. Like I didn't see the whole picture. I just knew I wanted to leave Buffalo. I didn't really have. I was homeless when I fucking moved to Baltimore at first. I'm sleeping on my uncle's floor, and he kicked me out. Not to kick me out, but he's like, "Yo, Chuck, you got to go somewhere else." So I started sleeping on my cousin's floor before me and my me and my other cousin got in an apartment together. So I had to leave, man, and I don't want to say I regret doing it because, you know, who knows, you know, where we end up based off the decisions that we make initially. But I can say I definitely would have rethought or reconsidered the move the way that I did, the way that I did it. So yeah, that's it for me, man.
Okay, man, man, and that's, you know, comes to the learning process though. But you still, you know, even though you're not that age, still very young, that you realize it now to change that, and you know what I mean, and I mean you're never too old. You know what I'm saying, as long as you're living though, but you're still at a great age to go ahead and change that, and you know what I'm saying though, and still do your thing. Pete, what would you say, man?
Shit, man. We got time?
Nothing but time, man. Go ahead.
Shit, man. First of all, sleep. I took that shit for granted, my nigga. It don't come around too much nowadays when, you know, got wife and kids and shit and trying to be right in this world. So sleep, that's number one. Number two, sleep. I wish I would have listened more to my OGs, man. I should have took more emphasis in the advice I was given. You know, save your money. Don't worry about what other people think. Do you? I should have. When faced with adversity, I wasn't always the best at conquering shit. I would just like quit, give up. Like Amir, we was talking before the show, man. I said one of the things I should have stuck with was, you know, staying in school. For those that don't know, you know, I went to college for a year. I went to ECC South Campus, and for those that live in Buffalo, they know South Campus is fire shit. It's right across the street from the Buffalo Bills Stadium in Orchard Park. That's really not in fucking Buffalo. But that was the only campus that offered that was the only campus that offered the communications program that you know everybody couldn't get into. You had to take certain tests and shit and get in it, but you know, traveling, coming from the east side of Buffalo, not having a car and shit like that, wasn't always able to make it to classes. I just said fuck it and gave up on it. And I shouldn't have. I felt if I would have stuck with it, I might have been a little farther in life than where I'm at now, you know, doing this radio thing. I always had a passion for it, being in some type of programming with media. You know, that's why I did the communications program. But just shit like that, yo. I would just tell my younger self, stick with it, man. Don't give a fuck what nobody think or say. Do what you got to do, because sometimes opinions come from those who can't do it themselves, so they don't want to see you do it, you know. So just having a little stronger backbone and taking the advice of my OGs a little more seriously. I felt if I would have done that, I'd probably be a little better. But you know, it is what it is, and like you said, Amir, it's not too late to grow. But yeah, that's my top two.
Yeah, man, and you know, I mean, you know, I mean, obviously when you are younger, you know what I'm saying, though, you tend to fight advice, good or bad.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean, fuck what you're saying. Fuck what you're saying right now. You know,
Where the weed
I'm
at,
not
nigga?
trying to hear you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Unless, you know, they ain't trying to listen to you unless you got a jet. You know what I'm saying, though, you know. Or, you know what I'm saying, though, or if you're you know, fucking all the hood bitches.
Yeah, that's funny, but that's real shit, man. That's real shit. Like, damn, he fucking all these hoes. Wait, what I gotta do? Let me listen to that motherfucker. Nah, I don't listen to that motherfucker.
It's sad that is a reality, though. But I guess for me, Jesus Christ, the one I think that I didn't appreciate when I was younger that I do now, it's probably like probably my value. At all. Now, I can speak that from a personal aspect. But yeah, you know what I'm saying, though, you know, I was, you know, younger, and I know a lot of young black men and black women that don't really appreciate their value at all. People in general, but don't really, you know what I'm saying, though, appreciate it. And especially living in a society that, you know, is constantly telling you what you're not. You know what I'm saying, though, you don't really realize and take a stock into what it is that's good or great or nice about you. You know what I'm saying, that you're constantly looking. You know what I'm saying? Even if people will tell you this and that, you're constantly looking for another piece of validation. Or, like I say, in my aspect, you don't even, you know, hear it at all. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying, don't appreciate it at all. And so I would say for me, that's probably the biggest thing for me that I didn't appreciate younger that I appreciate now. You know what I'm saying? Though, when you understand the importance of it as you get older, because, you know, it's what keeps any person going. It isn't saying to be vain and live in vanity. You don't want to do that. But, you know what I'm saying, though, you know, it's good sometimes to say, you know what, I'm not so bad after all. You know what I mean? Especially when you're told, you know, your whole life that you're nothing by society. You know what I'm saying, though? Or your mother. Or every other black woman you come in contact with. that niggas ain't shit. And so, you know, when you consider yourself to be a nigga and you hear niggas ain't shit, you gotta roll with the punches. And that's what it is, and that's what it becomes. So, you know, it's tough to truly value yourself, though. Even people that outwardly do it, you know what I'm saying, inwardly they you know, they really think about themselves in a low, you know what I'm saying, sense of themselves, because that's what they're taught. So even if they're stunting out here, they go back and then by themselves, they don't really think of themselves as being anything, and that's a sad reality. A lot of people deal with, especially within the black community. So I've been afflicted by that as well. Yeah, man, those are economics. Pete, as you elaborated on, though, man, just, you know what I'm saying, though, and listening, you know what I'm saying, though, and taking advice from the OGs and things like that, though, man, and, you know, obviously, you know what I'm saying, though, and having feeling a sense of self-importance. You know what I'm saying, though?
And before we move on real quick, my bad, Amir, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just kind of breaking it down.
I just want, before we move on, I just want to, like, you know, if y'all youngins don't ever listen to me, man, just listen to this. Yeah, when I say OGs, man, I'm talking about something that really don't exist anymore. Like, I was blessed to have both sets of grandparents, you know, my mom and pops, and even some old heads, you know, that I considered, you know, uncles and shit like that. If y'all blessed enough to have them around, just listen, man. You know, we get impatient, we young, we don't always want to stay around the old folks. We got shit to do. Well, best believe they got some gems because they've been through it. You know what I mean? Like I really take that from the heart. Like, you know, my grandfather, God rest his soul, may he rest in peace. My mother's father. We didn't have the greatest relationship. You know what I mean? He was a hired dude. You know, he showed love a different way. And for him to only have a 5th grade education and to become the businessman that he was, I wish I would have picked his brain a little more on some shit instead of constantly just being in my feelings because, you know, of the shit that I thought wasn't right that he did. You know, nobody's perfect. We all human. Ain't no blueprint on how to live this life. So just remember, man, the OG's got something to say. Just listen. I wish I would have did that because, you know, he was a hell of a businessman. You know what I mean? He wasn't the most loving, but, you know, he took care of business and he did it. And I kind of wish I picked his brain on how to be better at business, how to be better at money. You know, and my shit may be different today, but I just say that to say, man, don't always be in a rush to leave your grandparents, man. And sometimes through the repeated stuff that they say, there's a gem. There's some type of knowledge that can grasp and may turn your life around. So, hey, man, if you're blessed enough to be around them, stick with it and listen to the conversations. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, man. They definitely listen, man. Even if you don't always agree with them, you know what I mean,
right.
It doesn't mean they're always right. Just, you know, let them speak and let them, you know what I'm saying, don't really take in what they're saying. You know what I'm saying, though, and then, you know, do your own evaluation. You know, as a person, as you know what I'm saying, though, but don't be so quick to dismiss what they're saying, though, because they've been through shit you haven't been through. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you have to take that into account in anything. You know what I mean? That someone else has been through it and you haven't. You have to take that into account. Chuck, do you have anything you want to add or want to get to this next topic?
No, yeah, let's go right to the next joint, man.
All right, man. Listen, we've been talking about, you know what I mean, as far as things that, you know what I'm saying, though you appreciate now, you didn't appreciate when you were younger. Well, we got to talk about fears. We got to talk about and how we deal with just certain life things in general. And so I guess it's sort of a slash sort of question, fears or slash what you're dealing with, what you deal with in life that, you know, that you have to go ahead and combat against. So I'm just going to ask y'all this. How do you cope with your fears slash the things that you deal with? And is it more through negative means or is it more through positive means? Pete, I'll start with you, and then Chuck, you answer, and I'll answer after you guys are finished.
Can you repeat that question one more time, Amir, so I get it right?
Okay. Yeah, just to ask, man, because we all have certain fears or certain things that, you know, saying though we are less willing to go ahead and tackle because of the obstacles, or so to speak. So how do you deal with those fears? How do you deal with just, you know, saying though the things that you have to deal with in life in general? And is it more, would you say it's more through negative means or is it more through a positive means?
Okay, so how do we deal with fears, like personally? Like,
yeah, or just deal with just the obstacles in life in general. You know what I'm saying? Or it's a sort of a slash question. And do you feel like you deal with these things, fears and the obstacles you deal with more through a negative means or through a positive means?
Man, that's a deep one. I'll say this: I'm nowhere near where I'm not where I need to be as far as handling shit like that, but I'm better than where I once was.
And that's
you know what I'm saying? Man, listen, depression and shit like that is real. Like, my grandmother passed in 2002, man, and I didn't know how to handle it. Like, that was my heart. That was like my mom's, yo. Like, and when she passed, I was fucked up. I damn near almost didn't get my high school diploma, dog. She died in the middle of my senior year, and I ended up had to go into Bennett night school the following year just to fucking take art class to get my
Your grandmother died
diploma.
the year before Chuck's.
Okay, yeah. So it's just like a lot of shit. Like, you know, I wasn't always the most positive dude growing up.
I know when I met you, nigga.
Yeah.
You was in a dark space then.
I'm talking to the people, nigga. You asked me a question, goddammit. You know what's up.
People's in that sunken place.
Yeah, man. Nah, yo, listen. I faked the funk, man. I had a lot of insecurities growing up, man. Still do. You know what I mean? And I say I'm better than what I once was, but I can still grow. I can get better. I say it's not for me, for my sons, but you have to definitely do it for you. But seeing that I have two little boys in particular, you know, even if you got daughters still, but especially when you got two young princes, two young princes, and you're the father, and it's just like you don't want them to be you. You don't want them to go through the shit you went through. You want them to have a better attitude. So, honestly, because of them, I'm trying to get better. Who's to say if I didn't have them, would I still be in the dark place where I once was? You know what I mean? But it's definitely, I feel like I'm definitely getting better with handling situations in a positive manner, more so than a negative manner. You know, life got a way of forcing you to grow up. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And, I feel like I'm getting better, but I still have my days where I just have negative thinking, man, and explosive depression where it just be like, you know, fuck the world, and I'm trying to get better at that. But, you know, when you grow up and go through things, it molds your mind on how to react and how to protect yourself and how to do this, that, and the third. And, like, my mom always used to tell me, smile, it's not that bad. But it's like, in my head, I'm like, shit, it is that bad. What I'm going to smile for? You know what I mean? But being older and having kids, you realize why your mom said that, because, you know, your attitude, you show your kids the world through your eyes. And sometimes showing them shit through my eyes isn't always the greatest. And I have to realize that I have little ones watching me. So I got to look at the world in a different perspective in my own way so they can be better. So I know that's a long-winded answer, but I feel like I definitely got better than I once was, but I still have room to grow to be more positive.
Yeah, man, no doubt about it, man. It's a growing process, man. I usually know when it's about to get real. Usually you're good at stopping yourself. You'll be like, man, look, I'm just I'm just he didn't do that joke like, I'm just trying to. Because if I talk about this, man, I'm gonna knock somebody's head off, and that's growth. It's recognizing, okay, you know what, I've reached my point. Maybe you can continue to talk about this, and I can listen. That's cool, but I have to stop talking because I'm going to go there. And me going there might make me end up in jail or dead.
True shit, man.
And that's self realization, man. So that's powerful with that. You know what I'm saying, though. Chuck, I answered that question. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and repeat the question, just so you can get the good meats and potatoes of it. How would you say that you handle and cope with your fears and shit that you have to deal with? And is it more through negative means or is it more through a positive means?
Well, shit. I mean, Pete. Me and Pete situations kind of sound kind of similar, man. Pete is as Amir said, my grandma. She passed in 2003, and like she was that woman was my heart, bro. Like at the funeral, man. I'm like, if my uncle, or I guess we call him uncle, if he wasn't there, dog, I would have fell on the ground just crying, like passed out like a fucking baby crying and shit, man. Because that shit hit home like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And she was the cornerstone or the foundation of the entire family. Like when she passed, all that shit changed. And I saw a lot of shit changing with my mother, in a bad way, right? Is a lot of shit was started going down the drain. And my grandmother's the type of person where you can talk to her and she'll drop some gems, bro. You walk away from that shit crying. Like, I remember one time I was going to a camp out on the West Coast for kids who had my condition. It was like a long ass flight. And the night before, I'm talking to my grandmother I can't remember. I don't remember what the conversation was about, whatever. But all I know, bro, I was like crying the whole fucking phone conversation. Like we talking on the phone for a minute. I'm just sitting there crying. I can't remember the conversation. And I'm bringing that up because once she passed, I didn't have, outside of the crew, but even sometimes you got to go beyond that in some situations. Like I didn't have certain, I don't know. I didn't have what she offered in place. Like that was, yeah, you can't really put it in the word. Like what she offered, that wasn't in place. My grandfather, he's Jamaican, male Jamaican, alpha male, like really hardcore and all that shit. So he's not really that like when you're talking about like yin and yang, like that was, my grandparents was a yin and yang. My grandmother balanced the fuck out of my grandfather because he was like a hardcore preaching motherfucker. Yep. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, so he
know how to comfort you.
Yeah. I couldn't go to him for that. And my mother was going through her shit, so I really couldn't go to her. So I was just stuck bottling all this shit in. So for me, and the way that I handle it now, unfortunately, I would say is through a negative means. And because I'm the type of person, and I'm trying to get out of this, but I'm the type of person that learns shit the hard way. I don't know why I'm wired that way, but like some shit had to hit me right dead in the face. Like, yo, Chuck, what the fuck? Like, it's right there. Are you serious? Like, for example, I got some shit going on with the IRS. Just got letters, literally just picked them up this morning, this morning, and I got to do some shit so they don't fucking garnish my paycheck. But I knew about the situation prior to, so I can't put the blame on any external force. Like I knew this shit the whole time. It's just that because the pressure wasn't hot, or I'm saying the pressure wasn't tight enough, I said, oh, cool, let me just keep sweeping it under the rug. Now I can't. Like, I got to respond to this shit within a certain amount of time or they're going to garnish my shit. So for me, and I think in order to reverse some of the shit that and I think, in my opinion, bro, like, I think a lot of the shit that we experience or that we go through, situations we find ourselves in, comes about of our own volition.
Right.
I mean, like there's certain shit where it's external, where we had nothing to do, but then a lot of the stresses that we put on ourselves, like we can control, right? Like I could have controlled, like I wouldn't have had to get these letters from the IRS this morning if I would have did what I was supposed to fucking do, right? Like I wouldn't be in this a financial position if, when a couple of years ago my cousin was offering me, trying to get me into the IT field where he was working, making like 60 or 70K. Like I was just bullshitting the whole time, right? So when we talk about fear, I think you may have mentioned it earlier. It's like fear of the unknown. It's like we don't know what's on the other side of it, right? And a lot of us are okay being comfortable in whatever position we're in, more so than going after whatever we want to go after, not necessarily knowing what's going to come out on the other side. So to hopefully answer the question, I don't know if I answered it, but for me, I think the way I do it now, and I'm realizing it, and as a Pete said, it's almost like a progress, like a work in progress, to where I do it through negative reinforcement as opposed to positive reinforcement, right? So and there's going to have to be a sacrifice one way or the other, and if you make the sacrifice yourself, it's going to be a lot less. It won't be as impactful as if life decides to move in and say, okay, well, you need to do something, right? You got life on one hand saying, all right, if I have to get involved, you ain't gonna like it. But if we get to a point where we're okay being uncomfortable for X number of days, months, weeks, or years, or whatever, then later down the line, life won't be as hard because we made that sacrifice up front. So we had to sacrifice one way or the other. So you're gonna do it now, or you're gonna sacrifice 10, 15, 20 years from now.
You try to hit it on the nose real quick. Amir, my bad. It's real. You said something like that's real important, but you said it so on the low. A lot of people might not have catch that. You said if you're willing not to be comfortable for a few, key word, comfortable, and I can admit that's my problem. It's like it's hard. I've been without, as we all have. So when you reach a certain level on your own, it's like, damn, I don't want to go like that again before I got to this position. And especially when you got a fam. I'm not making no excuse, but it's just like you have to be, I guess I'm talking to myself more than anything. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable to make shit happen. And that's definitely true. I didn't want that part to go unnoticed. My bad, Amir. I didn't want that part to go unnoticed.
No. There's no need to apologize at all, man. Yeah, it's realization. I think what I get from what y'all said, though, and I'll get to my thoughts about just me personally, though, but just from what elaborating on what y'all guys said, though, it is a question, though, to be asked. What is harder, realization or the execution of getting what needs to be done once the realization happens? And I think. Go ahead, Pete.
No, my bad. Was you asking, or you was about to answer that?
Well, I'm not. I wasn't. I was and I wasn't. It was kind of like.
Okay, go. Yeah.
It was like. It's like. No, but if you want to elaborate on it.
I just be conversating and then forget we doing the show, bro. Like, this is my therapy. You know what I mean? Like, my mom was just talking to me the other day, like, yo, maybe, you do need to talk, my sister do what she do. And it's just like, you really don't need, and I know a lot of men, especially black men, feel the same way. It's like, you feel like you have nobody to talk to. And that's what I lost when I had my grandmother. It's like, man, I wish I had my grandmother right now in my 30s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to talk to her now more than ever, bro. And she gave me gems at a young age. And you realize as you get older for shit that you going through now. Because they know they're not going to be here long. Yo, the last time I saw my grandmother, she requested me, bro. She never requested me to do nothing because I'm always over there. You know what I'm saying? She called me the one like, I just need you to come over and help me with clothes. Washing clothes. I'm like, sure, man. And when I got there, we had a whole conversation about sex, money, drugs, everything. She broke down some real shit that she been through that she never told me because she knew I wouldn't have been able to handle it. But I'm 16. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yo, she knew what the deal was. And then, like, 2 days later, I get the call. I'm at Prima's Pizza downtown and shit, eating a slice. I didn't even get the call. I got the beeper. I got the nigga that had pagers back then. You need to get to the hospital ASAP. And that's she passed. You know what I mean? So it's just like, after she left, bro, it's like I really didn't have nobody to, like, kick it with. Because it's like I could tell her everything, and she would talk back to me without no judgment, without saying what you need to do, but just, like, talking to you. She's fucking talking to you. But I had that when I was young, and I wish I had that now. So it's just like, this is my shit. Like, this is, we need this. Everybody needs this. This kind of sense experience show is needed. I just needed it for myself, for real. But you realize how when you kick it with other cats, like, they need it. And I think, to go back to your question, my bad, Amir, it's just like, you the execution is like crazy fucking difficult. Cause you know in your head what you gotta do. Like Chuck knew about, you know, like IRS shit. Like you knew, bro. You knew. And like it's like the shit I go through too. It's like I know. You know what I mean? You need to just go to the gym, dog. You just need to get out your own way. Like I know this shit. You just gotta fucking do it. But it's some invisible, whatever the fuck force field is stopping you from doing it. It's not laziness. It's not that you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like you gotta push that shit out the way and just fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm at it, man. Go ahead, man. It's my therapy session, man.
No, you're good, bro. You're good, man. That's what it's here for, man. Not like you said. Not only are we, I'm saying, like reaching out to the people, and the people are hearing this and shit. But as far as I look forward to this every fucking Saturday, bro. Because I missed that male bondage shit that I had before I left Buffalo, man. Like I haven't had that shit in 12 years, 12 fucking years, man. I mean,
man.
It is crazy, bro. And it's when you realize like that was like a critical part of like growing up, like when you can get with your boys and y'all just kick it and chill and just talk shit, whatever. Like that's it's therapy session, right? We paid all this money to see these psychologists and whatnot, but shit. But then the crew, we just share and we having the therapy session right there. And you're getting perspectives from Rob, from Amir, from you, from Hov, from DJ, all these different perspectives, man. It's a beautiful thing. I'll say that, man. It's just fucking beautiful, man.
You said Rob. Rob knows I love Rob, man. But everybody has his strengths. Everybody has his strengths. Rob is the one that when you need to get off your ass and get out.
I agree.
Rob is that guy, but he's not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
he's not the guy. He's not the guy you talk to.
But Rob asks questions. Like he asks questions that make you think. Like when I was up there last time, and we was sitting in the front room at DJ joint, and he asked me a question, and that shit stumped me. Like, damn, nigga, like what the fuck? And like he's not the type of person you can really. I won't say you can share with, but he'll ask those questions. Yeah. In a specific Rob type of way. I mean, you start scratching your head like, damn, nigga.
It's, you know, but though, sometimes you need the bluntness because to get to, okay, all right, yeah, all right, okay, yeah, all right, damn, all right. Everybody was kind of pussyfooting around this, though, but you got to the bluntness, though. So, definitely, the Rob is, therapy is not.
It's not his strong points. Therapy is not his strong points.
Well, you Rob, man. I know you're going to listen to this and have a 1,000 different things to say, though. God damn it. But shit, it is what it is, man. Love you, brother. Yeah. But, I would say positive more for me, I guess. I laugh a lot. Isn't it be cynical? People are like, yo, man, why you always smiling? Why you always laughing? It's like, why not? And I realize people really have a problem with people being generally just
happy
and
yeah.
It's like, not in a Pharrell happy way, not in a Holly weird way.
Yeah, dancing up the fucking street.
I don't know.
Doing backflips and
Marlon
shit.
Brando way, but
damn, bro.
They all were fucking dude. I mean, not that type of happy, but just smiling and just, hey man, what's going on, man? Why you in a good mood? Why wouldn't I be?
I'm alive.
You still working at the joint though? I mean, it's got some issues going on or whatever though, but it's cool. I mean, damn man, you ain't fucked up over that shit? Nah, bro, I'm good. And people really want to see you fucked up and mad. You're like, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's good to ask if someone is, though, when they give you an answer and say you're doing good, they be like, damn, man, that shit would fuck me up. That would fuck you up. I'm not you. So let me ask you, how are you doing? Since we've got out the way that I'm all right. And it's just, you have to be, man. You wake up. When you wake up, you have an opportunity to change whatever the fuck it is. That's, you know what I'm saying? You talk about opportunity. If you wake up, that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a fresh new start, bro. You think about that shit. I mean, but that's like at any moment in time, it could be a fresh new start, man. Like like the next minute you can say, fuck that shit. I'm done. And you can change like the trajectory of your life in a minute, bro. Like that's how powerful that shit is. But we go back to the fear piece. It's that fear of us not really knowing what's going to be on the other end of that decision that we just made.
Yeah, man. And what you're going through is like, if what you're going through is that fucked up, then you do know one thing: something needs to change. So if you're changing it, and you're doing something different, then okay, all right. What else might be on the other side? It might, be fucked up, maybe, or maybe not. But that doesn't mean that you go back and revert to the other thing, because that was fucked up too.
Yeah.
And you work through it.
Yeah.
You work through it. And then you go ahead and say, okay, I've done that, now I got to go do something else. Constantly growing and changing. And that's life. You have to keep that will going. People just, they get on and they think that, oh, you know what, because this didn't work, I'm going to revert back to some bullshit. Nah. Unless what was has changed for the better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a woman out there, and she's with an abusive husband, and she goes ahead and gets out that relationship, and she goes back with a man who's abusing her because wherever else she went to didn't work out. Then, that's just stupid. If he's not changed, and if you haven't changed, because a lot of people want to go back and still with the same brokenness.
That's real.
It's true.
Let's keep it real. You're still the same broken person. So you don't even have the strength that if it is on some bullshit to get out of it. You're going to have to deal with the same hamster. You're on the same hamster wheel.
Yeah. Because it's comfortable. It's familiar, right? We're creatures of habit. So if that's the shit that's comfortable, regardless of how detrimental that shit is, they're going right back to that shit.
And I can say that, like I said, this isn't in no way, shape, form, or fashion, because I am nowhere near the example of everything that is good and valor. But I feel like my mentality is at a great place now. If you'd asked me this 4 or 5 years ago, I couldn't give you that same answer. It was a dark place. Crazy, man. I didn't want to wake up. I was mad at God for waking me up. I was pissed. I had beef with God. What the fuck are you waking me up for? What? What the fuck are you waking me up for? What? Why? To do this again? You're a piece of shit. That's how I felt about it. That was an honest emotion. Like, if God was a person, yo, I'm going to need a good, a good 10 New York minutes outside. But we're going to have to scrap up, bro. Because you're fucking with me. When you're at that place, that's a dark place. And I can never go back to that place. I refuse to. I refuse to let anyone take me to that place. And that's 3 years stretch, talking 2010 to 2013.
Dope shit, bro. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The next, if I were to go back to that type of mentality, the next step is suicide, and I refuse to do that. I didn't do that then, I'm definitely not going to nowhere and go back to that then. But I know what it is to be close to want to go ahead and kill yourself.
Yeah. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people have, and they just, like a lot of us, especially black men, have, but we're not open up to admitting it because we think it's like a sign of weakness or whatever. But
you can't be a black man in this society unless you are just completely oblivious. And if you are completely oblivious, once you do wake up to the realization of what it is, you might actually just kill yourself.
Yeah.
If you've been oblivious that long, I couldn't imagine being oblivious for 40, 50 years of my life. And there's some motherfuckers who are.
Yeah. Unfortunately, too.
Or at a very young age, held it back in. You know what I'm saying, though? All that back in. O.J. Simpson. You know what I'm saying, though? For so long. I can only imagine that. And then realizing, oh, shit. Yeah, oh, God, this is what it is. I can only imagine having a Carlton Banks moment when him and Will got pulled over, got sent to jail. Y'all remember that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put your hands in the hood, Carlton.
Carlton had a taste of realization of the reality.
But this goes so deep, though, man.
Tonyo bougie ass down a little bit. Just a little bit, Carlton. We got to Tonyo bougie down. That big mansion you live in is a facade.
That was a powerful episode, though. But yeah, man, just, elaborating on that, though, man. I think I handled things a lot better over that period of time. Whew. That was tough, man. I'm going to get into this third topic, man. Like I said, those are some great answers, though, man. It's tough. It's tough, man. Dealing with life, and especially being a black man, a black woman. This isn't, it's tough being black, just period, in this world. It's crazy, man. It's crazy that we have to actually get excited about a black superhero movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And not just enjoy it as a white person watching Spider-Man or Superman, but watch it with the fervor that, okay, this is actually us being shown a positive light, because we've been shown in a negative light so much that we have to actually depend on a Marvel movie to go ahead and have that, for us. That's crazy. But, shout out to the movie, though. I mean, it's a powerful movie. I'm not shit on the movie at all. I'm just saying to just imagine how fucked up we are that has to be a reality. Okay, so I'm going to get into this third question, man, real quick, though, man. What are your thoughts, man, on labels, so to speak? Everyone, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this, I'm not my skin, I'm not my complexion, I'm not my hair, I'm not I'm not a hoe, I'm not a this or that or whatever, though, though. It's almost like, though, you apply for a job, it just be blank, though, and whatever the responsibilities are, you just find out during the interview. Because they don't want to put the label on there, though. You're not a banker, you do banking shit. So I just kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on that. Maybe because of a petty place, though. Chuck, you kind of sparked off this topic right here, though. So go ahead, start with you, Pete, and then I'll go ahead and elaborate and give my thoughts.
So when it comes to labels, I'm not I don't know. This is such a big question, because there's we can talk about semantics, and whatnot, or we can talk about the spiritual aspect of everything. I'm not my body. I'm not, I'm whatever, however you want to, contextualize it. But I think in order to function in the observable universe, where you're using your five senses, that in order to move about, like, labels are necessary. We can't even walk around like looking at our phones saying this thing. And even that's a label, because you're calling it this thing, right? It's something. It's like a thing that you exist, that you're feeling, whatever. Or if you're a doctor, I'm Dr. Rivers or Dr. Green, Dr. Henry, or whatever. Like this, it's, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if I can answer that, because it's so vast. You said earlier, like I'm a banker. Or I do banking shit, whatever, whatever, however you want to do it, right? Or I work in a call center, or as a quality auditor, or I monitor phone calls.
I do quality auditing shit.
I do quality auditing shit, right? So, but still, even in that context, you'll say, okay, well, what is quality auditing shit? And at that point, we've still got to define that. So anything that we label, there still has to be some type of like definition behind it. If we remove the label perspective of a thing, then we're now moving more so into the energy and the spiritual aspect of shit. Right? Like I can say, I'm not my body. That, in my opinion, that's like a spiritual, that's a spiritual concept. Like, I'm not my body. Like, I'm, like, my spirit, my soul is engulfed within this physical structure, right? Or if I did say I am my body, I am black, I do have arms, I do have legs, then now we're back down to the physical, like to the physical universe. So I don't know. I don't know if I answered the question. I think there's a spiritual answer to that shit. But then, in order for us to operate in society the way it's set up, that we have these even the way we communicate, like we communicate using words. We put individual words together, or individual letters together to create words, right? And then the syllables and the whatever, the semantics, all that shit, and it's how we've created this system of communication in order to operate in society.
There are times, and Pete, I know you got thoughts on this though, but there are times where the professor has to teach. That was that moment, and then we start off the show. There are times where the professor has to tell the students how they're fucking up. That's the pissed off professor aspect. Right now, you were teaching. That was going ahead and letting everyone know about the science of things, and appreciate that. My petty is at such a level that I'm not there to do that, but it's definitely appreciated. Never apologize for giving, because there is a science to, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Though, you don't want anyone to just go ahead and just tell you who you are, or what you are, and your limitations on life, just based off of past mistakes or what you're doing currently. But yeah. So yeah, that answer is great though. But Pete, I feel like, and I say this, I feel like you have aligned a bit with my pettiness. Go ahead, my brother.
So we talking about labels, right? Like, what do we think about labels? That's what it is?
This is what it is, Pete.
That's the question? Look, man, you are what you are, bro. You is what you is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like a vague question. Like, it can mean, like, if we, I don't know, we call like Beyonce and Jay-Z goddesses and shit like that, It's like, come on, man, he's human just like everybody else. You know what I mean? But the shorty around fucking, the whole neighborhood, except who you are, man. Let me. I mean, in the motherfuckers that say I am not my hair and this that and I am not this and I am women hear me roar, that's still a label, ain't it?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, ain't that okay? So you're not your hair. So you putting on a shirt, I am not my hair. That's a label. Like,
Yeah.
you still drawing attention. So to me, that's corny within itself. If you are who you are, cool. Represent that shit proudly, man. It is what it is. People get offended because the truth is not easy to take. I think that's what it is.
Can you say that one more time, my brother, please?
I think that people get offended because the truth is not easy to take. It's not easy to accept.
Yeah.
The bubble or the what I'm looking for, the representation that you're trying to throw in the public. That's what you want them to see. And the era we live in now, it's easier to do that shit. So people get mad at labels and shit, but you making up a label yourself. Aren't you? Like, that's not you. Isn't that that's somebody else. That's an opinion of you. I don't fucking know. It's weird. I don't know if I'm giving you the answer to the question for real. It's just, I don't know, man. Labels is just whatever you want it to be. It's not, to me, it's not important. Maybe younger, if you used to be, you wanted to be the fly nigga, you wanted to get all the bitches. And at the end of the day, but you grow up, and if you cool with yourself, you cool that you, and I think that's a lot of problem with the world, and it's easier to be somebody you're not, especially today. Then labels is always going to be the topic of conversation. But, man, two middle fingers to labels. Fuck a label.
Yeah.
The world is a big high school now. It's still the jocks versus the nerds and the nigga that get all the bitches and the nigga that got every pair of Jordans and shit like that. Like, it's crazy. I know I peeled the onion back, but I hope I answered the question.
Look, man, you are who you are, where you are, if you're not trying to change it. And if you a bitch out here just sucking mad dicks, sucking wild dicks, and getting fucked, and not giving a shit about your body, you're a hoe. Are you trying to change being a hoe? Have you owned the fact that, okay, I'm doing hoe shit and I need to change this? Or are you still doing hoe shit? Because, you can be a proud hoe. Well, we can put certain words in front of it to define what type of hoe you are, but you are a hoe.
Yeah.
But
at times I could be a nigga. I'm not a bitch ass nigga. I don't do bitch ass shit. I'm not saying that I'm not prone to making mistakes though, but I don't do bitch ass shit though. But I'm telling you, I can show that, I'm being a nigga right now. Just like a good woman could, be a bitch at times. Oh, every woman has the capacity to be a bitch. Trust me. When she wants to be. And at that point in time, you are a bitch. Just like at that point in time, you might be a trifling ass nigga. It is what it is. But for me to recognize it, what you're doing, and how you're behaving, people don't want to take responsibility, like you said, for their actions anymore. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're living in the age of Trump. This is why I say he's the perfect president for right now. It is what it is. It's the president that we deserve.
The very fact we have to say that the age of Trump is
We're not age of Trump. And
Yeah.
what does Trump mean? It means to override anything. Right? You got the Trump card, right? What the fuck we're living in? I'm not this. I'm not that. Alternative facts. People can't even admit they're lying anymore. It's alternative facts. I'm gonna put a positive spin on this shit.
But like Pete said, when people start saying I'm not this, I'm not that, then you're actually affirming something else. When you say I'm not this, or I'm not a hoe, I'm not a bitch, or I'm not a nigga, whatever, then you're affirming that you're because something always exists.
Right.
In my opinion, something always exists. So if you're not a bitch ass nigga, you're something. You may not be a bitch ass nigga, but you're something. So I agree with Pete when it's like labels are, at the end of the day, are kind of like a mute point that is meaningless, right? You either a hoe or the definition of a hoe, which is you out there sucking mad dick, fucking a lot of niggas. I mean, we can say it that way. We can say you out there sucking a lot of dick, fucking a lot of niggas, or the shorter version is you a hoe. Same thing, right? Same exact thing.
Right. So if I'm going to get to that point, then let's eliminate words.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Let's eliminate words. Eliminate abbreviations. I know people be like, well, shit, I'm just going to go ahead and just put abbreviations. No, eliminate that too. Let's just eliminate all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
People can't communicate anyways, right? You ever tried talking to people? Text me.
Or shit, go back
Inbox me. Hit me up on Facebook.
or go back to the hieroglyphics where they use shapes and shit to convey messages, but still, even then, that's a communication system. You know,
I am not my shape. Let's eliminate talking and nodding. So let's just eliminate communication all across the board. You're not nothing. And not only are you not that, you're not even doing that in which someone that should be labeled that would be doing.
Yeah.
So not only are you not a hoe, and I can't call you a hoe, but I can't even say that you're doing the actions of one. Yeah, that's that bullshit. So, well, this is what happens when you can't control your kids anymore because the system wants to go ahead and take that away from you.
Yo, my niggas.
I'm not misbehaving, Mom.
Right.
That's crazy.
Being bad. Man. Go ahead, Pete, man. My bad.
Sidebar real quick, because, I get alerts and shit from, like, TV streams, sports and shit. My nigga, this shit popped up where it says Johnny Manziel is tired of being compared to the Colin Kaepernick comeback. I'm going to just say this. If this nigga gets signed by a team before fucking Cap, I might just have to say fuck NFL, bro. And it's going to hurt my heart because Buffalo is going to do some magic this year. I feel it. But if Johnny fucking Manziel gets signed to a team before Colin Kaepernick, dog, I might just have to say fuck football. I really do.
He will. He's going to. Did you hear him speak? Did you actually hear the interview?
Nah, I ain't seen the interview. I did see that video of Colin Kaepernick getting his workout on. The dude look alright. I'm just saying. But
Johnny Manziel is a politician.
So he on his comeback like Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus. He done. No
shit. That was dead serious.
I didn't even hear the interview, man.
Now listen to the interview. This motherfucker is gonna get signed by somebody.
Bruh, man.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it was America's team. Well, quote unquote America's team.
Yeah, it's not America's team.
Dallas Cowgirls. I mean, Cow Manure.
How the fuck you gonna call it America's team?
Oh man.
You don't speak for all of America. Fuck you.
Right.
Fucking Cowboys. Who to make that label? The Cowboys America's team. Fuck no. No,
and the sad thing is, when they was called America's team, they weren't even the one winning the majority of the championships. That was Pittsburgh in the 70s.
Yeah.
They didn't start winning until the 90s. We know.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You know? So They won 3 of their 5 championships in the 90s. So
that's just, man, please, dear NFL, please. A Buffalo fan who went through all the bullshit, and we finally reached some awards. And God damn it, I want to see it. Even though I probably shouldn't already, but dog, please, do not sign this motherfucker. Y'all gonna put me in a rock and a hard place.
It's gonna, speed up.
God
I
damn
feel
it.
like this. I feel like it's gonna happen, man.
Bro, it can't.
It's a story. It's a story for them.
Man.
A resurgence to the NFL. They lost a lot of bread last year.
Definitely got to win with this collusion case, man. They said they already questioned the Houston Texans owner. They supposedly got him on some shit. They supposed to question all 32 of them motherfuckers, but we gonna see.
They gonna get fucking Donald Trump to go ahead and vouch for him, man.
Right.
I feel it. Yeah, man. I definitely feel you on that, Pete. Though, man. And right when the Bills, but again, balance. Fucking balance, man.
Fucking balance.
All these 17 years, and when the Bills finally get on point, you put me into going off of my fucking morals or my love for sports.
Right, man. Like, it's like, yo, I was able to duck and dive and bob and weave through the bullshit. You know what I mean? Because it's mostly hypocritical motherfuckers who criticize the people watching the football anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And y'all motherfuckers criticizing us watching football but still get the jeans at Walmart. And you're like, that's another story. We ain't going to dive deep into it. But, like, if Johnny Manziel, it's like you can't. It's like, nigga, you straight. You the nigga that snitch on Nat Turner, bro. If you gonna keep watching football, if Johnny Manziel gets signed and Colin Kaepernick don't.
Is it that deep? Are you the nigga that snitched on
it might be that deep, man. I don't know. I might have been exaggerating, but it's kind of like, bro, really? First of all, he's not better than Kaepernick, period. I don't give a fuck what y'all try to defend on the field. Y'all not about to sit up here and tell me Johnny Manziel bum ass is better than the nigga that took his team to the Super Bowl and to the NFC champion like twice. Y'all not gonna fucking tell me that. Y'all not gonna tell me his demeanor, his attitude off the field is better than Colin Kaepernick. Y'all definitely not gonna fucking tell me that shit. This nigga got caught with coke on camera. Y'all not gonna tell me that shit. Y'all not gonna tell me this signing is better and is less and it draws less attention to the league more so than signing Colin Kaepernick. Y'all not gonna fucking tell me that shit, yo. So if y'all signing this motherfucker before Colin Kaepernick, it's like, bruh, y'all might as well just start saying nigger on air. Y'all might as well. Just say we ain't want the nigga say. Y'all might as well. Y'all got balls if y'all sign this man over before y'all sign Colin Kaepernick. Come on, man.
Shout out to the brother Shannon Sharp, man, for always keeping it real, man.
Facts. You still on the fence, but I mean, good shit, Shannon. Let me check. That's good shit, though. I got late to addresses.
But yeah, man. All right, it's a great segue into the sports. Actually, before we get into the sports, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into sports, and then do these bars and these and the poetry. Y'all have anybody? And I'll start with Chuck, Pete, and then I'll go ahead and then we can go ahead and get into these into the sports a bit. Anybody that y'all go ahead and mention, past or present, that's a trailblazer.
There's a brother Kaba Kamene, also known as Booker T. Coleman. He's a historian, and he's still alive, he's still living. And he's
Booker T. Coleman, you said?
I think so. I think that's his name.
Okay.
But I think it's his quote unquote stage name is Kaba Kamene. Let me see.
Okay.
Kaba Kamene, Camene.
Okay.
He's a powerful historian. He's extremely knowledgeable. He has a lot of shit on YouTube. He was featured in Hidden Colors. I'm not sure which. He might have been
that's the brother. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he wrote a book called Spirituality Before Religion. He's a real deep brother, humble brother too, as well. So Cabo Cabernet, you can find him on YouTube as well. He has a lot of videos on YouTube, and he's worked with Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben Yakaman, Joseph Sheikh Anta Diop. Like he studied under all of the greats.
And that's John Henrik Clark. So
John Henry Clark, yeah, Dr. John, John Henry Clark. So yeah, check him out on YouTube, Cabo Cabernet.
Okay, the brother, Doctor Booker T. Coleman. Yeah, man, he's he goes in though. Appreciate that, Chuck, man. Yeah, we definitely need to go ahead and appreciate them and give them their flowers, so to speak, while they're here and still around.
A quick question before you go, Pete. My bad. Really quick question, y'all. Y'all heard of Rock Newman, right? The Rock Newman Show.
Yeah, I've heard of Rock Newman. Sort of, kind of, little heavy set. I don't know. Is he black?
That was going to be my question. Like, is he black or white? Because he has a lot. He had Dr. Sabi on his show. Like, he had some powerful black people on there.
He had Professor Griff on there a few times. Yeah.
So I don't know if he's black or white. It's like one of them things where Pat, that movie Pat that came out like back in the 90s. You couldn't tell if it was a boy or girl. Like, that's what this nigga. I don't know if he's black or white. It's really kind of, even looking at him, it's kind of hard to tell.
I'm looking at him and I can't tell if he's just I'm going to think that he's
mixed.
You know what? I'm gonna have to look it up. Pete.
Yeah, my bad, Pete.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Yeah, Pete. Go ahead. Who do you have, brother? Though.
So this segment has inspired me to look up names and go into history and shit like that. And we are. It's funny how Shanae's like, man, you've been on your ignorant militant shit the last few weeks. Shout out to my wife. I love you. It's just been a rough few weeks. So my anger been different. But it just amazes me how white people try to alter history to make you lesser than what you are. Like, Martin Luther King, he's just a speech of a dream. That's it. He ain't shit else but a speech. They ain't fuck with Muhammad Ali until, after he couldn't talk. Now he's beloved. And, George Washington Carver, that's what I'm talking about for today's segment. Shout out to him. But, we all know about him discovering the peanuts and doing the research on that and sweet potatoes and, really was a part of the agriculture movement. I don't know if I said that right, but it had shit to do with farming. But they also want you to believe that Henry Ford invented the wheel, invented the cars, my nigga. No, he didn't. Shout out to George Washington Carver for that shit, too. I didn't know that. I'm sitting here listening to a Dick Gregory interview documentary and shit, and he mentions it, talking about, Henry, how Dick Gregory used to talk to me. You a fool if you really, he talk, read the book. Goddamn it. Like, he's talking about George Washington Carver, man. Henry Ford basically used this man for the idea of the automobile. All his ideas and shit. Would they tell us about this shit in school? No. He just wants you to think, oh, that's the nigga with the peanuts. Yeah. Nah, man. Reading this shit, looking it up, this man basically helped enhance the automobile industry as well. Go figure. Another brother.
Yeah, man.
George Washington Carver. Shout out to him.
A lot of people don't know about George Washington Carver's real contributions to the world. I mean, forget just America. So, yeah, man. I mean, look, man. I mean, let's be honest. They always give these white people, these white rich people, let me say that, or wealthy people, the credit for like inventions. And white rich and white wealthy people don't work.
They don't.
So they get the patent, of course. White people always steal credit. Credit for the shit that they didn't really do. And so we know that. And so, I mean, it's just surprising. Oh, no, man, no, I can't be, man. No, I read that in the book. Yeah, what book?
Right.
What book was it written? Who wrote the book? Same thing with the Bible. But,
That's another show. Another show.
Shout out to King James.
Oh man. No, not Cleveland. No, we're not. No, y'all.
We're not gonna do it today.
Not the ball player. Not the ball player. Not the one with
the real King. The real King James plays baseball. He lives in Columbus, Ohio. His last name is Green. Okay. All right. That's the new king coming up, the new T'Challa. Shout out to Jag. Yeah, man, I gotta give a shout out to brother Arthur O'Eve, politician here in Buffalo. I've always said that politics and morality don't mix, and they don't. But there are some that go and do the work that they should do. It even says here that he was an observer and negotiator during the 1971 Attica prison riot, and the first official to enter the facility to hear the demands of the inmates. You know what I'm saying, though, and that he advocated, for a lot of different causes: economic, education, job training, development. Actually, the reason why my mom was able to get not only her bachelor's but her master's degree was through a program that he had that allowed inner city youth that went to college to go ahead and get the degree on the government's dime. And so, he's an amazing trailblazer. You know what I'm saying, though? What I didn't know about him was that he's actually he's actually black and Dominican, which is still black with him. It's black from a different place. You know what I'm saying, though? Let's not get it twisted, though. But, yeah, man, this brother Arthur O'Eve, though, man, needs to definitely be celebrated, though. Let me see. He was born, actually, what is today's date? The 24th?
Yes, sir.
Yesterday was his birthday.
Yeah.
He turned 85. 85th birthday. And so,
happy birthday, Brother Eve. He's good friends with my grandfather. That's how my grandfather. He's good friends with my grandfather. He was at the funeral and everything. Like, shout out to him.
Hey, don't. My mom would talk to him. They was she's in the black social workers joint, though. And I would see him a lot, though. So I want to, he would always drop some jewels here and there, though. He's one of those, drop some jewels and keep it moving. That person. Yeah. That's what it is, though. But you got to go ahead and give shout out to him. I know you've been dealing with, some health issues here and there, though. So he hasn't been as involved into the political arena as he once was, though. But yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, man.
He did more than enough. It's on us now. He did his part. And he's one of those few that really did his part. You know what I'm saying?
He really,
taking the bullshit just to be in the politics. He really
Jesse Jackson.
Really do. Right, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. And shout out to your granddad, man. Shout out to your granddad, man. Yours as well, Chuck, out there, though, man. A lot of work, man.
Yeah, he's still, still doing his thing, man. 91, 92, I think. 91, 92.
Nigga, we know. He's doing his thing.
Shout out to Grandpa. You know what I'm saying? He'll probably never listen to this show. He will never listen to me say but I remember like a few years ago, I'm back home in Buffalo. And my mother, like, yo, Charles, you know what your grandfather called me and asked me about? Some Viagra. Like, in his mid-80s, still fucking.
Hey, man, hey, listen, man. If I'm in my mid-80s and I'm still here, please let my shit still work.
Yeah, I agree.
Listen, as long as you can walk, think, and still have your dick hard, life is great.
I agree. Shit. And the reason, because my mom's a nurse, so that's why he asked her. I guess with his age, whatever, and I think he's taking medication and shit. So I guess he was asking, this is gonna mess with the medication he's taking or whatever. But yeah, he's been married 3 times since my grandmother passed. And
he'll never find another Gwendolyn though. He's just doing his thing right now.
Yeah.
He's doing what you do after the death do you part shit.
Yeah.
Just living and fucking.
That sounds like an old blues song and shit. Bobby Blue Band in this motherfucker. Living and fucking, baby. Gonna have fun. Living and fucking.
You know what I mean? Who I was, I did that, and okay, all right. Now that, you get through that initial, and I'm just living and fucking, man. That's what it's all about, man. As long as it's still working, fuck it, use it. All right. Sports, I mean, we've talked about the bullshit about, with the, those motherfucking Warriors and they shit, and all of a sudden all 4 of these niggas is injured at the same time. Everybody in the club getting tips.
Hey, man.
They know they do.
Let's shout out to UB, both teams. I seen that the UB women just lost. I mean, to a great opponent. And shout out to Dawn Staley and what she's doing though. But let's give props.
Yeah, they tried. They fought hard.
Yeah, Miss Leggett. I think
questionable calls.
I think her last name is Leggett Jack, the coach for UB.
Coach of UB.
I see her from time to time throughout the school. Over there though, man, and very, very humble, very, together, black. Yes, I'm stressing that word, black woman.
Absolutely.
That is, putting us right there on the map though. Shout out to the black quarterback who took us to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, who is now playing for the Browns. And so, it's some great things right here in sports-wise. I don't really know how the Sabres are doing this year. I don't really follow it that much to know.
I was when we went to the state, and there was remember that controversial shit where we ended up losing.
Got a foot in the crease.
The foot, something about the foot in the crease, or the puck was like halfway, some shit like that.
You talking about 99 when we in the Stanley Cup? Yeah. We should have won that one.
Yeah, that should have been ours, man.
We should have won that year. Absolutely, I do remember that.
And quite ironically, that's the same year that the Music City Miracle happened for the with the Titans.
Last year went to the playoffs too.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay,
it all sparked off same year, man.
Yeah,
yeah, man. We partied like it was 1999, and we didn't party since. We haven't partied since.
No, we haven't
until this year. We took the Prince song a little too literally.
Yeah. So, would y'all say the Bills dominated the 90s, or at least half the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. We certainly were the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we were.
We were the Patriots in the 90s.
Yeah. We just couldn't win a fucking Super Bowl.
Man. We
was kicking ass and taking that.
We was getting jacked. Let's be honest, man. We was out there getting fucked up, man. We was drinking, smoking.
Man, they was drinking. Jim Kelly wife and Andre Reed was fucking. It was a whole bunch of shit, man. Like it was a whole bunch of shit. A lot of cocaine snorting. Them motherfuckers. Yeah, they don't talk about it, man. But they don't want to. Jim Kelly, the god and shit. They don't want to talk about him, man. He used to get lit.
Damn.
Well, the 90s. A few times he kicked our own asses in the Super Bowl, but the one where Scott Norwood missed the field goal, we should have won that game.
Yeah.
And it should have came to the field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so proud that Frank Wright has a ring before Jim Kelly, or that Frank Wright has one. Jim Kelly doesn't.
Say that shit again.
I am so happy and so proud that Frank Wright has a ring and Jim Kelly doesn't. Even at the expense of the Bills winning a championship, I'm so happy he has a ring. I'm so proud. Fuck it, man.
Look.
You ain't proud, but he Eagle, man. He ain't winning as a Bill. I don't give a fuck.
Fuck it.
Go ahead, Frank Reich. You deserve it, man.
Frank Reich got the greatest comeback in football in NFL history. Fuck that whole Super Bowl, Atlanta, Tom Brady. Shit.
Atlanta laid down.
Yeah, bro.
Atlanta laid down. We really fought. Houston was playing. Atlanta just laid. They was trying to not lose. You know what I mean? It was, you know what I'm saying? You got to go out there to win. Them niggas was like, oh, shit, we're actually winning.
Right.
Yeah, we got the greatest comeback or whatever, though. And we got the greatest comeback with a backup quarterback. Nigga, they had Tom Brady.
Right.
And New England, who's been there before. That was their, what, sixth trip at that point in time? Or seventh?
Yeah, he's six.
So, yeah, it's like, okay, all right, this is what they've done. They know how they've been here before. They looking at these motherfuckers like, oh, y'all weak. We had a backup quarterback, and we did that. So I ain't trying to hear that shit. Greatest comeback ever, Frank Reich.
Mm-hmm.
And not only
played in that Super Bowl. Didn't he play?
Nigga, exactly. And not only did he win a Super Bowl, he won it coaching another backup quarterback.
Facts.
With a backup quarterback as a head coach.
As a head coach. That's right, yep.
New England, y'all suck.
Facts. And it's over for y'all niggas.
Y'all couldn't beat the replacements.
And it's over.
If I go to Boston, they're going to kill me. Straight up. Because I'm going to be like, I'm going to wear...
They kill you anyway if they wasn't talking. If you wasn't talking about the
that's
Patriots.
true.
They don't like us, man.
I'm going to wear a Philadelphia Eagles Frank Reich jersey. I'm going to find a way to get that shit jersey. If I ever go to Boston. Oh, man. But, yeah, man. What do you think about the top 20 list?
Top 20
average
list?
of all time. They had Tiger Woods number one. A lot of people had a problem with that. I'm like, y'all just thinking about the last 8 years. What about the previous 10?
Yeah.
I mean, previous 12. Excuse me.
Wait. Tiger Woods number one is in the top 20? I don't know, bro.
He's won 13 majors in that span.
Yeah. But as we talking athlete though, man.
No.
Over LeBron James?
No. They broke it down by individual sports. So they had golf, football, basketball.
No, but he was number one overall, Tiger Woods.
Overall, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree.
But they did break it down though. Chuck. They did break it down like that as far as all sports. You know what I mean? But you don't agree? You don't think? Who do you think should be number one? You think LeBron?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like that's a good question, man. We got to probably maybe top 5, number one. I get in there, might not. I don't know, man. Because Serena Williams is up there to me, bro. I know that's a whole other conversation, but no, it's like
she should be
athlete. We talking athlete, my man.
She's definitely not top 20 in decisions, but she's
yeah. Well, hey man, Joe, we here for the laugh. Let's laugh, guys. Everybody relax. Funny. That was funny. Yo, what LeBron doing in his 15th year is fucking ridiculous, man. And
LeBron found vibranium.
And then you got Barry Bonds. And I don't give a fuck what y'all say about fucking the steroid shit he was taking. Steroid shit is about hormone growth, getting stronger, but it ain't got shit to do with your eye-hand coordination and none of that.
Exactly.
Yo, I was just watching, it was him going against the Cy Young winner that year. I forgot what year it was. And he smacked that shit out the park, 100 miles an hour fastball. He smacked that shit out the park, my nigga. Like that's not easy to do, bro. It's like we gotta have that conversation. I think that's another topic for another show. I don't want to say Tiger is number one. No, I just say I wouldn't think Tiger is number one on my list. I don't think so.
Can I say this though? I do think that Barry. Go ahead, my bad.
I'm sorry, I said Bo Jackson. Deion Sanders. Like, we gotta talk.
Not the last 20 years, though. Bo Jackson ain't played the last 20 years.
Oh, he's talking the last 20 years. Okay, yeah.
It's 20 years.
Yeah, okay.
But I think that Barry Bonds took steroids, though. But guess what? That shows that when white people take steroids versus black people, we're better at it.
Yeah,
we're better at everything else. Y'all took steroids, and got 60-some home runs. We took steroids, we got 73.
Yeah.
We're better than you. Not because we're saying that to be arrogant, although we can be, but you see, we're better than you because we're original.
No,
it makes us different when we enhance.
Well, as I'm saying, like genetically, we're superior. That's genetics. I mean, that's not. That has nothing to do with personality or lower class, upper class. We're saying genetically, which is why in the movie Get Out, they was harvesting fucking organs from black people. Like, come on, like really? They didn't have no fucking white person in there harvesting their fucking. They had a black dude, the blackest motherfucker they can find. Had a nigga in there trying to get his motherfucking organs because they know the genetics of black people, the melanin. Man, this shit can go over another 2 hours, man.
No, there's no doubt about it, though, man. We're definitely gonna get into saying that's something we talk about, the power of melanin and those different things, though. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? No, it's not. It ain't, it ain't to brag, although I am bragging right now. We're just better. Now, if you keep us at a mental state or at a state of not self-worth, then sure, you can go ahead and own anybody who subscribes to the bullshit or doesn't even know, because if you subscribe to that at a young age as a kid, you know what I'm saying, though, then you don't even know that it's even bullshit, though. But those who know themselves, as Serena Williams and Venus Williams' father did, who wouldn't go for the bullshit, then yeah, man. Once we put our mind, like the brother, and I want, and people need to listen to him as we get into the lyrics, though, right here in the bars. The brother Godfrey, the comedian, whose parents are African, he says it that the people who have the most degrees in America are Nigerians. I'm saying that again. The people that have the most degrees here in America are Nigerians, not the Asians, not the other people that I'm saying, they put out there. It's Africans. It is Africans.
Yeah.
Pete, man,
Yeah.
And I'm talking to Pete Prop right now. Are you ready to get into these bars, brother?
I believe so.
You want me to go first? Because I feel like you got a lot to tell the people, though. You want to go first. You know what? It all depends on your energy, brother.
Especially what's coming all pleasant. Please let us in. Now we picking the lock, kicking the door, and blasting. Time for action. Tired of the talk. They'd rather see us dead outlined in chalk. That's all? No. See, homie, there's more. Plenty of the shit this world got in store. All type of isms, race in the class. Even broke white folks mad happy they ain't black. What type of shit is that? Backwards, if you ask me. Kill the messenger. The messenger is whack, B. I'm down to be united, but it's not cool. Black own everything from the food to the schools. Yep. You want us quiet? Then give us what you owe. The land that you stole. The culture you think you know. Fucking vulture. The real terrorist threats. We peep the agenda. You will lose. That's a bet. Prop.
Damn.
Okay. So you didn't come to play. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do my little poetry here. Jesus. All right. Gotta stay focused. This will be my opus. The hopeless will be awoken. Truer words can't be spoken. Never to be broken. Refuse to be a token. Niggas be giving side bitches wife privileges. She's mine, they Steph Mokin. My words potent. Wish bad on me, keep hoping. I'm tight roping. Alcohol, drinking, but not used for coping. Fuck POTUS. Fuck justice, it's just us. The system should never be trusted. Don't like that? Then fuck you. Fuck you, and fuck it. And let's go.
Nigga flexed at the end right there a little bit too. That's that shit. That shit when you move your chest muscle and shit. Like, yeah, nigga.
When you move your chest muscle. Yeah, I did have a little bit of what's the Caesar from the Planet of the Apes type of moment right there. Shout out to Chala. After he recognized his father said some bullshit.
Right.
The realization moment. There we go. Pete, was you done now?
Huh?
Huh?
Nah, man. See, I'm just not. I've been working, man. I'm writing some shit. Fuck it. I ain't just a beast going live it. Trapping on the balls of domestic living. Oh, how I miss this feeling. Premeditated murder on the beat. I'm killing. Illin. Hands in the air with the black fish. If they don't mean what they say, homie, that's a catfish. Actors, they all be pretending what they not, homie. We all see. Asking gives us not permission, because 9 times out of 10 they probably won't listen. This world is a lake and we the bait for the fishing. So fuck fair, homie. We gotta keep building. All right, I'll get the rest later, man.
No doubt, though. Y'all know what it is, though, man. We do that, man. And J Moore, brother Jason, you know what I'm saying, though. You know what I'm saying. He ain't on the show today, though, but you know, JP Moore Green, you know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
It's coming, man. The music is gonna be here, man. It's gonna be a great spring and summer, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and just say this, man. God loves y'all, barely tolerate y'all, and you know, y'all know what it is, man. Black Podcasters Network, Common Sense Experience. Chuck, do your thing, brother.
Hashtag stay woke. I'm out.
Hey, yo. I just want to rap, man. 2 fingers means peace. See y'all next week. Yeah.